Tony D and Little Joan, and a screenwriter's rant on 88. It was a movie that came out towards the end of last year, I think. I think it's getting a wide release now. I saw the trailer drop, so I'm going to look at it. It's very political. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget Kindle. Unlimited is free. So, this is Orlando from Mad TV. I remember him. He plays a candidate for president, and he's a Democrat, and he's being secretly funded by a group. This is the guy who gets the info. He's working for the campaign in some capacity, and he does some digging, and he realizes that all the numbers somehow add up to 88, which is supposed to be code for, the bad guy from Germany. So, for some reason, the people secretly trying to rule us leave a clue like that, and he picks up on it, and that starts to unravel their nefarious plan. Then, of course, the question, why does a group like that back a black candidate? I think you can answer that question by saying the executive producer's credit is Charlemagne the God. So this passes for political intrigue these days. It's kind of a premise I don't really get behind. I had to read a review of the damn movie just to understand what the hell the plot was, because it was kind of all implied here. Like, initially it was like, okay, there's some shenanigans going on with the Democratic Party and the candidates who's very popular, and then they want to hide it, but then it turns out to be connected to this, right? Which is like, well, that's crazy. He's a black candidate. Why would that happen? It's all part of this grand conspiracy. So, I guess you can make a movie like this. It seems way too serious for such a stupid concept, in my view. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you really want to do a movie about this kind of stuff, first off, people would have to know it. And they just don't even know it. They're so ill-informed by their media. They might buy into this because, if you're watching TV news. But it looks, it just looks dumb to me. It's a dumb premise. Written and directed by Aromos? Is that his name? Okay. Doing all the heavy lifting. Yeah, I don't know, man. There was already a movie called 88, by the way. And then there's another project called The 88. I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but, it doesn't really make any sense. They already made a movie called The Boys from Brazil. None of the cast listed here. That's weird. Huh. Yeah, none of the cast. Forget Orlando's last name. I want to say Bloom, but it's not Bloom. I know it's not Bloom. He's funny, though. He's very funny. He was very funny on Mad TV. This just seems like, I don't know, it seems like Hollywood keeps giving distribution to movies that are political if they have the right politics. And you might say, well, aren't they criticizing the Democrats? Yeah, but they're doing it in the soft way that's okay. Like, because I can already see in the trailer, they're kind of portraying it like, well, see, there's good people. There's good people in the Democratic Party. But, it's just the bad old people that are pulling all the strings and doing the conspiracy, And, of course, they're racist, so you fill in the blanks, baby. A real movie about this sort of corruption is everybody's corrupt. Everybody's so stinking corrupt. It's sickening, right? You'd have to be a fool at this late date, and anyone who worked in Washington, D.C., to think that any of these people are clean. So it just comes off as like an 8th grader wrote it. Oh, I want to write a political intrigue movie. Oh, okay. Well, here are the good people. Like, nobody can be good and be in this business. I don't think anybody can. They end up being liars. They end up biting their tongue and, oh, well, the guy who we're trying to get elected for governor, well, he does heroin, but we don't tell anybody. I mean, it just goes like that. These people are thirsty for power, and they'll do anything to get it. It's very, 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 very rare you get anybody who's actually so good at politics that they can overcome their handicap of actually kind of being honest. And even then, you look at a guy like Jimmy Carter. Why was he even elected? Well, mostly because the previous guy had effed up so bad, and he just happened to be very charismatic at the time. So I don't know. I'm not buying this whole premise. But okay, so first act, and I read a lot in the review I read. I forget, some obscure website. I couldn't find a lot of reviews. Nobody seemed to have any reviews more than, oh, it's a good movie or it's a bad movie. First act is probably the main character, who's the analyst. He's coming off of recovering from alcoholism, trying to put his marriage back together, gets this job. It's his sort of last chance to get a career going and going on the straight and narrow. He needs this. So he really wants to do a good job, so he digs down into the donations, and that's realistic. And he finds these irregularities, and everything keeps adding up to 88, 88, 88. So he takes his concerns up. They ignore him at first, and then he keeps digging, and he finds more evidence. And then by that time, we're in the second act, and strange things start happening. He connects it to this weird group, and they want to return the money, but it's like too much, and it's too late. They've spent it all. If they return all the money, they're screwed. And that's supposed to be like representative of the major scam the Democrats pulled. I don't think so, but okay. That they tie it to these racists is just weird. I mean, I guess it's not that weird for a Democrat, but it's weird considering the lay of the land now. So okay, and then the third act. Well, it can kind of go one of two ways. The first way is he gets exposed, the Democrats lose, but that's okay because he was a bad candidate anyway, and nobody really wins, kind of thing. The other way is, turns out he's actually a good candidate, and they save his candidacy by exposing these people, I guess. I don't know. I kind of sense this is like a more of a film noir kind of ending. Nobody really wins. Everybody kind of loses a little. But I just don't buy the intrigue. Just don't buy it. If it was based on a true story or something like that, I mean, it's just such a stretch. It's just such a stretch to believe this. And I think, political dramas like this need to be fairly realistic. I think there's plenty of evidence to the recent years to do stuff on, I'll say, without going on to a political tirade, as I'm prone to do, about my own opinions. So, but they'll never greenlight that movie, because guess who will come out looking bad? So, yeah. I guess we get those movies 20 years from now when they don't matter. So, would I see this? Nah. This looks dumb to me. Looks like a dumb take. Doesn't even look particularly, well done. It's like trying to be that sort of, I don't know, Watergate-y kind of thing, secret meetings. Just not doing it for me. It doesn't feel real. But he's a good actor. I like him. I wish he'd do a comedy. like back in the old days, because Mad TV was a lot of fun. He had some good characters. Well. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. We got a news blast and a Hollywoke hot take you don't want to miss. I'll be at the Trainwreck Distillery tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Join us in Mount Holly, New Jersey for that. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you